what are we going to? Because it says direct instruction again after we kind of went away from that to that facilitator role in our classroom. So it's also I decided after we read it that we were going to really just pick out some key things that we felt like we could mesh with what we already have going on in our building and some of the things that we see in our classroom to make sure that we're not really overwhelming anybody, adding anything else to your plate. So the first treasure that we're going to share with you, and she was going to be here today, she's my partner in crime, but she has fallen, she'll be back tomorrow, is checking for understanding. So you're going to see that as CFU. And so today we're really going to go over when we check for understanding, when do we do that? What are we checking for? How do we do that? And then why are we doing that? So you have a pamphlet on your desk, and we'll look at that at the very end, and you'll be able to take that with you. But you guys do a really good job checking for understanding, and there's lots of ways that you do that. I just got back from 2 days worth of training, and I was telling everybody I went to an AP training, I went to an RTI training for high school. I dreaded the data training, but I did go ahead and go into that, and the ACT training. And so what I found, I did pick up a few little tips, but what I found is that what we're doing is really good. Like it just confirms some of the things that we already have going on in our building, that we're going down the right path. So I'm hoping for this, you're not going to learn like brand new things to do, but I just want to, for you to kind of give you some ways to do that better in your classroom. If you're not doing it, I just want to remind you of some good techniques. We always need to be reminded. We're constantly getting told information, and sometimes it's just good to go back and visit things. And then as you, as a teacher, you're like, oh, well, I'm already doing that. That's great. That's what research says I need to be doing. Or we back off and we forget. We're like, oh, I'm not doing that any longer. I probably need to go ahead and start that again. So, Mr. Baker's not here too. He's my IT guy. So these are the components in the book of an effective lesson. These are not big surprises to you guys. And they're closely aligned, really directly aligned with the evaluation model. So there's nothing new up there. And we know that if we do these things, we're going to be an effective teacher. So the ICANN statement, I always go back to faculty meetings, and they quit a long time ago, just sending y'all an email that says we're going to go to faculty meetings. Like when you come to faculty meetings, you kind of want to know, what are we going to be doing? What am I going to be getting from this meeting? So that's just like your students in your classroom. Your ICANN statement, your target statement, you can call it whatever, your big idea, your objective, whatever it is. And I know there's been lots of argument about should we post it, should we say it. Pretty much the district initiative is we really want it posted. We want the kids to be able to see it. You're going to reference that objective in your lesson, and you're going to do that multiple times. You're going to introduce that lesson. You're going to tell the kids exactly what you want them to learn for the day. You're going to reference it again in the middle, and then at your closure. So hopefully by the time they leave, they have a good idea about, okay, this is what I was supposed to get from the day. We know they don't always do that, but that's the objective. You're going to activate prior knowledge, which is your retention piece. You're linking everything together. So every day when they come in, you're just not picking up a new idea. You're going to link that to something, some prior knowledge, some experiences, to make sure they can retain it. The teacher do part. So it's that I do, teacher, the I do, we do, and then they do, which is very old school. Right? What model was that? That was Tim's model several years ago?
Long time ago.
Long time ago. So for some of you, you're like, whoo, okay, I get through this again. So the concept development is the teacher do part. So you're gonna be modeling for them. You're gonna practice your problem. I always think about math when I do this. You're gonna do your problem on the board. Then you're gonna model. Now the modeling part seems to be a real issue for us, because we don't model out loud our thinking process. Well, I looked over our evaluations for the ones that we've done so far this year. Lesson structure and pacing was an area that's been marked as an area for us to develop. And modeling. Because I think we feel kind of weird sometimes thinking out loud. But I was in a math class the other teacher was talking, I was just wanting to say, think out loud. Like, why are you doing each step? When you see that problem, what do you automatically think of? You see the parentheses in the problem. In your head as a teacher, you're like, I need to get rid of my parentheses. Or if there's a negative, or whatever. And so, but then you think about with social studies, or you think about with writing, or you think about any of those things. Like, how do you think aloud? And so that's something that we've got to really concentrate on and be intentional about in our classrooms. Because our kids are lacking the thinking process. We got to kind of guide them, but we got to model that for them. When I read this passage, what am I going to be focusing on? Then, the relevancy piece again. Why do they need to know this? The weeding part, which is your guided practice, you're going to do that together. Then you have your closure and your check for understanding, which is what we'll be going into a little bit more today. Then you have your student do piece. So I do, we do, you do. Relevancy, your objective, you're linking it together. All of these things to make it a great, great lesson. Like I said, we know what those components are. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget to incorporate those. And even though we plan for it, it may not happen. So I actually bring a lesson plan in today to kind of share with your table. And so what I would like for you to do is look at your lesson, and the next slide has all the components. And I want you to look at your lesson. I want you to talk to the people at your table about how you plan your lesson, how those components are embedded into your lesson. If they're not, let's talk about how we are going to embed them. And if you have it on your phone or whatever, that's fine. And just have a little bit of discussion. We're going to do that for about probably 5 to 10 minutes. Okay? Any questions? Look at your lesson plan. Look at the components of an effective lesson. There they are.
All right, guys, it's a little small, but I actually know I did what I was supposed to do with this, but it doesn't look like I did. But when you go into strategies and procedures, I did a mini lecture on foul tide and just explained what the different parts of it were. And then it's up on the board while I'm doing that. Then I have a whole group discussion about the prompts that they did for foul tide, what we did with Johnson. And I actually pow-tied out loud with them. Okay, so I actually pow-tied. I did it with them. I modeled the pow-tie with the Johnson prompts after they had already done it. Okay, and then I had them start doing the actual writing of the prompts after I showed them how I how I would have done the Johnson lesson. And I did all of that up on the board while I was talking out loud. So I actually was doing it while I was talking through the pow tie so that they could see it and hear it and see it. And then I got them in groups and they did just one part of pow tie out loud as a group, and I listened to each group around and watched them just do pow part. And then the next day they did tie.
Specifically be thinking about your think aloud, modeling. How are you going to model that lesson? How do you now model?
Is that right?
Okay, and I'm going to tell you what.
Okay.
But I taught my students how to type MLA reports, report in MLA style. I need you to say that.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm teaching them. If any of my students come to you and say, I don't know how to do that, I was never taught, and that's all information. It's a big fat lie. And they can do that. He's going to sit there and think, and you can drag them by their ear to me. Good. And let them like.
Can we take a picture of you with your glasses down like that
Yes.
right now? And I'll say, Joe told me that you learned this.
Yes. Because I did exactly that too. I got on my computer.
Right.
And I said, this is how you're going to do an MLA report. we all know how to do this because we've done this before. But look at the difference. If I'm gonna do a regular, I don't have to do the heading. But on an MLA format, we are doing the heading. And I type that. I type my name, and I type my professor's name, or my teacher's name, and I type what class that is, and then the date is never 10/27/14. It will always be 27 October 2014. It will never be 10/27/14 like it used to. And I teach them how to write a line and how to indent. I show them on that, and I show them exactly where to get that done. And so then when I get finished, I go individually. If they're not doing that correctly, if they're not double spaced, then I check them right then and say, okay, now look, this is what you did. You didn't set it over here. You didn't do that. And so we do that. Now, we've done that all week, and we still, some of them are not doing it correctly because they are not doing it in double spacing. Oh, they are, it'll be triple spaced or whatever they want to do, whatever it is, it's all just pretty. Yeah, but
They're like, oh, but it looks so pretty. I'm like, I don't care if it's pretty.
And they want to type it in script, and I go, okay, times New Roman 12. Times New Roman 12. And you don't have that choice.
That's why it's the default. That's why it's a default font, because that's what everyone writes.
See, I needed to be on my knees praying. I said I should be on her knees praying because some of my students were not good for substitute. And so they needed me to be on my knees because I wanted to. Okay, but that I did that.
They weren't good for a substitute. You've been around, but look.
Popsicle sticks?
I knew the popsicle sticks, and I also knew the,
You've got a little hook, right? You have a popsicle stick. You reach in the popsicle stick and whoever's name is on that.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you this, I found on Teachers Pay Teachers last night, the popsicle sticks with all of the Bloom's taxonomy questions. And what you do is you pull out the popsicle stick and it tells you in order the popsicle stick.
You know what?
Which is kind of cool.
Instead of what tells you the order of the
You know how like it says,
don't pay attention to pop, because it's but, and when I pull them out, I say, you catch a so I know not to call them.
smart girl.
That way everybody gets called on and you don't have the kids who know everything going. I
No,
got it.
she's not smart, she's college, so they do know.
Yeah, we don't know. And we,
I did that.
back in the day, we didn't care back in the day.
Well, I did it back.
Miss Short.
I didn't.
Okay, so,
But yay, that is
without
smart.
discussing the lessons, tell me what I can do to.
You were perfect today. I'm giving you a high finger.
You did the best job. I used to be, and also yours was like, fantastic.
You were stressed out.
No, I'm serious, like I do it, it's going on all day long. You know, wonderful that is. And then yesterday,
Yes, she does. I checked.
okay, so I had this,
something they might have added to their plan that maybe they had accidentally omitted? Anybody?
They like this.
We like hers.
Okay, what is
But this
hers?
is, that's not necessarily, but, okay.
It's questioning.
It's questioning.
Okay.
At the beginning of the entire class, like the first day of school, they all put their name on here. So when I call on them during the day, and I know that I've called them, I just put it there. And then, of course, we start all over the next day.
And so that's questioning.
That's que-
Where's questioning gonna fall in here, or could it fall?
It could fall
Relevant
places.
Check for
Relevant,
understanding.
Check for understanding.
And your closure piece.
Yes.
Right.
Anybody else wanna share? They got fabulous ideas. So we're going to watch a real short video from Teach Like a Champion, and the teacher's name is Kate. And what I would like for you guys to do as you watch the video is pay attention to what you see in the classroom, what you see Miss Katie doing. How did she check for understanding? And I really like this term. Create a culture of error. So it's a very safe environment, I feel like. So we're going to watch this video real quick, and those are the things that I'd like for you to pay attention to.
All right, here we go. Pencils down in 3. Most of us have an answer. 2, 1. Rock, paper, scissors, your answer on 2, 1, 2. Hold them up high. We have some different answers out here. I see 2s, 3s, and 4s. B, C, and D. First of all, let's go back to this original equation. 1/2 times the quantity x plus 2 equals 20. Based on the answer choices, are we going to distribute or are we going to divide by 1/2? I like these hands. Check Sherwin. Who agrees with Sherwin? Yeah, we are going to divide by 1/2. I saw a lot of you do that. So if you divide by 1/2 on both sides, what happens to these halves over here? Rosie, they cancel each other out. I'm going to get a darker pen. Here we go. They cancel each other out, and we're left with what on this side of the equation? Naquan. We're left with 10. So you chose answer choice B? Who else chose B? Okay, 20 divided by 1/2. Let's write that out on the side. 20 divided by 1/2. What's the answer? How many times does 1/2 go into 20? Naquan's smiling over there. Naquan, is it 10 times? Oh, it's not. Interesting. How many times does it go into 20? Flip that fraction, do the multiplication. You know how to do that part. And you say Avisha. Who agrees with Avisha? Who changed their mind about their answer? Yeah, hold them up high. Be proud. You just figured it out. Yeah, what is the answer? Everyone on 2. B, C, or D. Say the ladder. Ready? 1, 2. C. That is correct.
All right, answer for me. What did you see? What did you see in Katie's classroom? There's a couple of things that stuck out in my mind. Say it louder.
Lots of physical response.
Okay, what else?
Engagement. Everyone engaged.
Did you feel like it was like that culture of error, like it was okay for them? They didn't feel stupid if they raised their hand up and they were throwing out the wrong answer? Like she had created that environment of just safety.
I think a lot of it too is the pacing because she's so fast, you know, then there's no embarrassment time. There's not time to be embarrassed.
I also noticed like her walls with her student work, she had that slant up, which many of you are using that slant. So yeah, I liked her pace. I think it was fast, the rock, paper, scissors. Anything else?
I like her sister, who changed their mind, you know, that's okay, come on, be proud, it's okay. You know, that's what it is.
Just out.
Okay, so in lots of classes, we're using this echo technique. I've spoken to a lot of teachers in the class when we call on a student and they cannot answer a question. We call on another student, they answer the question, we go right back to the student who cannot answer the question, ask them to restate what Lori said, what Kim said, or say it in their own words. So we're already doing that echo. The thing that I found interesting and kind of reminded myself of when I was reading is that very bottom part which says when two students in a row cannot answer, what does it tell us that we need to do?
Reteach.
You gotta go back, revisit, and reteach. Okay, we're not communicating something very well. So we're gonna go back and reteach. Okay, now go with your groups, read the middle part, please. Okay, so I can hear a lot of discussion, great discussion going on. Questioning in our building, you ask a lot of questions, they're very, most of the time not real high, but they're very questions. I like this part, if you keep calling on your brightest student, you're getting a false impression. And I know as a teacher, like, oh yeah, they're able to answer that question, they're doing a great job. Well, they're your brightest kids. And so we need to make sure that we're calling on those ones that are answering the questions. And making sure that they understand. And that they can answer your questions. What was a takeaway for you guys as you were reading it? Ms. Barnett, I think I heard you say something. Slow down.
Oh, the ones that know, they want to answer really quickly. They shoot that hand up and they want to know, and I tell them, if you answer, everybody else will quit thinking. So you have to wait, and then sometimes I'll let them answer, and then sometimes, you just call on somebody who didn't raise their hand, because I want to know who they know what they're saying, what we're talking about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Ms. Barry, you were saying something about questioning too.
In that sense, like Ms. Barnett's saying, it's hard to give that wait time. When you've got the same ones that are constantly raising their hand, they get antsy, the freshmen do anyway. Because then you gotta just work stuff out. You have to keep reminding them that, again, don't stop thinking.
And you have to prompt them before you ask the question.
Right.
That's what I'm finding when I go in the classrooms and I'm watching, because they're gonna throw that answer out. And it's okay for them to do that. Some of you run your class like that, and that's great, but you have to prompt them before and say, I want you just to be quiet and think for just a minute before.
I've learned that when I have the same students answering over and over, and sometimes I just like them to tell me the answer and nobody says, I'm like, I don't want to hear from this student and this student, I need somebody else to answer other than these that just keep answering, because I need to know that everyone else is paying attention to it.
And that wait time is so difficult. It's hard for me if I'm standing up here and asking y'all a question just to wait, and you guys are adults. So I can only, if you're a teacher and you've got kids and you're on a time limit.
I think it's easier for us to wait than the kids who know the answers to wait.
Yes, yeah.
One good strategy, helps a lot if you are getting a lot of wait time, is then just have them turn to their partner and share their ideas, and that will let them develop that confidence around their own answer, and then they'll be much more willing to get in there. And that collaborative aspect is really important for them.
Absolutely. Okay, so the next page is just some strategies. We've seen you guys use popsicle sticks, the whiteboards work really well, discussions, and then the clickers are perfect. Ms. Baker over here has the clothespin where she pulls out names, so all of you guys are finding different ways and different strategies to check for understanding, make and the wind. If you wouldn't mind reading that, and that's gonna be our last little portion of today. We're gonna close in just a second. And then you can share in your group if you want to read, you know.
Modernization of the story. And I'm writing it down. Okay, so every 5 minutes I go, I need one group member to come in and read your story. And that was all I was checking for, those two things. They didn't know I was checking. But it works, y'all, because then they're on their, they're not doing the group work and like fluffing off. They're like, I'm checking, but you see that you are doing what I need you to do. Right now.
I do my check for understanding through many projects. Do this first, bring it to the bench, right? I'll send it back to you guys, and we'll do it, and say that's not right. That's not right, we have to fix it. But I do it's individual.
We also do a lot of touring, so that they can check for understanding about executing on tours. So she's somebody, they know what happens. And they check.
All right, a few takeaways. Continuous checking for understanding when implemented properly is the backbone of effective instruction. Why would we say that? Ms. Burks, I hadn't heard from you today. Let me pick on you.
Probably not good. Just to see if they're on board and know exactly what they need to teach that day. But it sets them up for the next day and for the entire course.
We've used that phrase, spraying and praying. Like, I think if you're not checking for understanding, you're spraying all that information and you're praying they get it and you're walking out the door and they're getting in there tomorrow and we're spraying again and we're praying they get it again. So we gotta check to make sure that everybody, not our little Seth, who was over in class the other day and we could carry on a great conversation with little Seth because he is really good and he makes us feel like the best teacher in the whole wide world. Until we get to poor little Johnny, we always pick on Johnny right down, and he can't answer a thing. All right, so everybody, we're checking for understanding for everybody. What does it say under the what part? So each step we're going to check, because I think what we have a tendency to do sometimes is we teach, and then we're checking at the very end. And we went through step by step by step by step, and they got lost on the second step. Well, we're already to the seventh step. And then we want to know why they're not able to answer our question in our closure. So we're going to do a step, then we're going to check, because it says to check how often? Every 2 to 3 minutes. Okay? So check, you're going to teach a step, check. Everybody with me? Go down, check again, check again, check again. I like, it says when, the 2 to 3 minutes, which I know seems like a lot, and it does. Who was it? Ms. Barrow and Ms. Palmer were talking about definitions, and what were you guys saying about your definitions?
I was just saying that I started something new in my classroom. I'm not real politically correct. I call them dummy definitions. So we did plantation the other day, and it said a large agricultural estate. Well, I said, I don't pass this form in the afternoon and say, golly, the large agricultural estate smells terrible today. I said, the farm is awful, so I tell them to use words that they kind of like that. So substitute words they don't know, with definitions, do that a lot.
And they're gonna remember that because of the smell, that's the,
Try to make a
that's the one
connection.
sense, I think,
Make
the
connection,
smell.
yeah.
Okay, does anybody have any questions about today? We went over the when, the what, the why, and the how of checking for understanding. Like I said, many of you are doing a lot of these things in your classroom, but it's always good to go back and revisit, remind us. We get so bogged down in all these other things. And how does this feed into your evaluation rubric? Well, your standards and objectives, area, your lesson structure and pacing, questions, feedback, assessment, and teacher knowledge of students. Because if you're checking for understanding every 2 to 3 minutes and you're adjusting your lesson, then you've got to know where your kids are in class. So you're not waiting to the very end and then adjusting. You're like, okay, I'm gonna back up just a minute. Okay, now we're ready to go again. So these are just some areas that probably fit in a few more areas on your rubric, but anyway, if we just incorporate these 8 little components into our lesson. So as you're developing your lesson, you want to keep this in mind and go ahead and plan for it. You don't have to plan for that on paper, but you do need to be mindful of it. I'm not expecting you to go, okay, every 2 minutes this time I'm going to check on my lesson plan. When we're ready to come in there to observe, or when you're planning your lesson every day, you just want to make sure that those 8 components, you've thought about them and that you're intentional how you're going to implement those into your lesson. All right, any questions? The breakfast, November the, you remember when Pat's breakfast is? November the 7th? Okay, so that's just an appreciation breakfast that he's providing from the football team and the boosters for you guys coming out and working all of his gates and doing all that stuff, so you can come in for breakfast that day. I will be sending you our PD schedule. It's probably gonna be twofold. We're probably gonna do something in the morning and eat lunch and then do something a little bit different in the afternoon. If you have not talked to your team about early release and you don't have a plan, please be getting that plan together. It's open. You guys have lots of work to do and lots of talking to do. So you can work together and come up with an early release plan and send that to me. It was 11:30 to.
Oh, yeah, she knows. She's
I don't have it on my
So,
11:30 to 12:15
so,
was lunch.
so far out.
Yes, that was his time. I figured we could use that too, right? Okay.
How can we check?
I can find you some pictures like that. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I think I've talked to Fine Arts, but I haven't got anything from Mr. Gregory. Yes, you are. Y'all have.
You teaching skills.
No, you're gonna say okay, thank y'all very much. Take your pamphlet with you. Have a great day.
Anything or yours, so we are posting the first one.